What is up, guys? Welcome to Tech Savvy Buyer. So I have with me today a Denago e-bike that was sent over for me to review, and I want to walk you guys through some of the really cool things that this bike really has to offer. As you can see, it is definitely not a slouch looking bike, not by any means. We'll get a closer look at all the different features that this bike has, how much range you get, what the battery capacity is like, and I'll even take it for a little spin on the block here. That way you guys can get a good sense of how fast this guy can go with pedal assist, even if you just use the throttle. So we'll take a look at all these cool things and why I think, especially in today's economy, in today's market, it is super smart to go ahead and invest in an e-bike like this. And we'll even cover some of the shortcomings of this bike, like, a few little things here and there that I think could have been a little bit better, or that, are lacking on this bike per se. But by any means, this is a very positive review for a very positive product, and I hope to see you guys coming up. Okay guys, so for starters, I want you guys to take a look at this display and all the different things that you can actually see on here. So on the right side, you've got an access to the little power indicator. Lets you know how much battery percentage you have, and as you can see, we currently have 80% battery. Over here on the left, it is the pedal assist notification. Lets you know what level of pedal assist you're in. Now on the left side, there's a few buttons that you can press, and as you see, as I press them, it'll start to go ahead and adjust that pedal assist. There are 5 levels of pedal assist, and the higher you go, the less force you need to exert on the pedals, and the faster the bike's going to move in addition to that. Now you could switch through different menus. You press your menu button here, which actually functions to turn on and off the screen as well. It's going to let you know how many miles per hour range you have left. It's going to let you know the speed that you're going and the max speed that you've hit on your current ride as well. Also on the bottom, there's a little trip meter that lets you know how much distance you've traveled on the bike, and you can reset that going into settings as well, which makes it really easy to use. So one of the cool things, like I mentioned, the top speed of this bike, if you're using pedal assist all the way in level 5, you can hit up to 28, even in some cases 30 miles an hour if you're going down an incline. But 28 to 27 miles an hour is pretty much standard if you're using pedal assist. Now, if you don't use pedal assist and you decide, hey, I want to be a little bit lazy today, because it's cold out or whatever, you can press the throttle on the side here and that'll jet you up to 20 miles an hour consistently. Now keep in mind, obviously, because all of the power is being used off the battery, the more pedal assist you use and the more throttle you use without actually applying any of your own strength in this, it's going to juice up more battery and obviously not last you as long. Now they claim that this gives you about a 40-mile range, and I concurrently agree with that. I haven't noticed any significant decrease in range while operating this, but just something nice to know that you got to balance that out when you're using power only versus riding it like a normal bike. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, given that it is an e-bike, and what are some of the challenges when you ride an e-bike without the battery, or let's say your battery dies. Anyways, let's move on to some of the other cool functions of the bike. Okay, guys, so as I was talking about, here are the different buttons and the throttle setting. So this is your throttle button. If you press this, it's going to make the bike propel without you actually having to use the pedals. This is if you're being lazy, okay, so I like to call it that. Here is the actual pedal assist function. So you can press this to go up and press this to go down, or lower the level essentially of pedal assist. And as you see, if I adjust this, it goes down. Now you've got standard hydraulic brakes, and actually one of the beautiful things about this bike is its braking system. It is hydraulic and it works amazing. So no matter how fast you're going, you hit this and the right one, this is quickly going to stop. Actually got to be a little bit careful. If you stop too abruptly, you might actually do like an endo or something, or pop a wheelie if you're not safe. But jokes aside, it's actually really, really well made. On this side, you've got a little bell function, so let people know you're driving by them or whatever. Here is a 7-speed drive chain gear change system. So from here, you can select up to 7 different gears, and if you want to pop back, simply just press this button and it adjusts the gears. And again, to move through, you cycle through on this side. Now you probably noticed the build quality of this just looking at it. It's a very, very solidly built bike. You've got rubberized textured grips on each side so that you can rest your palms on pretty easily and make it super comfortable for yourself. And again, like I mentioned, the brakes, everything is just super flawless in how this thing has been built. The build quality is absolutely stellar. And another thing I'll talk about real quick is how easy it was to put this bike together. So it obviously comes delivered in a box. You don't get the bike fully assembled, but 90% of it is already made, and you're just putting the column on and you're putting one of the wheels on. And it's super easy. They even supply you with all the tools that you need to make them. They give you the instruction manual. It's a very, very pleasant experience out of the box to just go ahead and assemble this and keep it. Okay guys, so another cool thing, like I mentioned, is that this has hydraulic brakes. You guys can probably see that there's a nice braking disc here on the side. You've got a really sturdy kickstand as well. And there's a 500 watt motor. Now that, for the people who aren't super tech savvy, is a very, very sizable and respectable motor to be putting on an electric bike. Another thing you guys are going to notice is that these are Kenda tires, which means that they're puncture resistant, which is super, super handy if you're going to be going on some pavement and stuff. Again, like this is designated, let's call it, for city biking. So you don't see any suspension on this or any crazy kind of stuff going on, which really just indicates that you're not really going to be wanting to take this, mountain biking or something like that. So with that, that's why, one of the cons I was alluding to earlier in the video is that there really isn't a good suspension setup. But that being said, I weigh 280 pounds, as you guys can clearly see. And even though the bike is only rated for 250 pounds, I'm able to ride this really easily. Now I'm 6'1" as well, and they said that the city model goes up to 5'8", 5'9". That being said, I am very comfortable riding this at 6'1", 280 pounds. So if it's, for whatever it's worth, if you guys were curious about the specs and what they really mean, that's what it is for me. Now you'll see the pedals are actually pretty, wide. I don't know if you guys can take a good look from this angle, but they are pretty wide and they're pretty comfortable to put your feet on. So between the entire drivetrain, I'm really impressed overall with like how easy it was, for example, for me to hook on a little canopy type bike trailer for my kids when I wanted to take them down. Now, including my weight and my children's weight, this was actually hauling us just fine. 60 pounds in the back, including my own weight. So we are way over the rated weight. Now, generally, as a recommendation, as a caution, you don't really want to be doing that. The major reason why I'm keeping this bike is primarily for my wife, who is not even half my weight. So if that means anything. Now, last thing I'm going to show you guys here is the seat and how it is really easily adjustable, toolless. So you can just lift it up and down like that without needing any tools. And it's actually very wide and comfortable. It's not like most typical bikes where you have a really narrow one that kind of feels like it's wedging its way up inside and it's not super comfortable. This is really good and it's really comfortable. Now, actually, I lied. It's not the last thing. So one more thing I want to talk about, guys, is the battery. So this is the battery pack. It is super, super heavy. Don't let this fool you and how heavy it is. But you do get access to a charging port here on the side. So if you want to charge it while it's sitting in your garage or storage somewhere, you don't have to take the battery out. But one of the convenient things that I really like is that you can pop this battery off. It comes with a little key lock, and you can unlock the battery and take it inside with you and charge it indoors if you don't have space to take the bike. This is pretty cool. Like if you're doing a commute to an office space, you don't want to bring the whole bike inside to charge it. If you're running low on battery, if you're using this for a 20, 30 mile commute back and forth from work, if you guys travel that far, which I feel like is a lot. But nonetheless, there are options for you to charge it inside and outside, which is super cool and super functional, super great. So guys, that's pretty much a roundup of all the different features that are cool and absolutely stellar on this bicycle. It is a very, very well made and sturdy e-bike, just to kind of conclude everything here. And the only thing, and I know I kind of touched on this previously, but the real drawback, let's call it, is that a few things are missing on this bike that would have been nice to have as some additional features, and those are some front and rear fenders and maybe some front and rear suspension. So for Denago, if you guys are watching, maybe these could be some add-on options. I know that you guys sell the parts separately, but it could be an all-in-one that comes with it for some people who are interested in just getting it all together versus adding on different things a la carte. And with that said, that's really the only other drawback that I could see or point out on this bike. It's an absolutely fantastic bike, great value for the money. Now, price-wise, guys, you can pick it up anywhere between $1,400 to $1,600. Just really depends on where you live, the time of year you buy it, and if there's any promos going on. So, guys, that pretty much concludes the review of this e-bike. As I mentioned, it is a fantastic value, especially considering the economy today, the cost of gas, miles per gallon you're probably getting, and all that kind of stuff. If you need just some quick trips, or if you work really close to your place, this is a really good value to take. Again, you have the ease of taking the battery off, so you need to charge it, you don't have to take the bike with you. And all the other features that I've already covered in the video. Hopefully this makes it an easy purchase for you and makes you get better at your decision making when it comes to comparing this with some other e-bikes that are out there. So a very well made product by Denago at bike.com. You guys can go ahead and check out bike.com and search this model up, and it's available there to go ahead and purchase for yourself. But that pretty much concludes this review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys can go ahead and grab one for yourself. See you.